Welcome to today's discussion on the commitment to change through the power of habits, brought to you by Prescriptive Health Solutions. As we step into the new year, we may find ourselves looking to make a few changes for the better. Rather than simply make changes, why don't you consider creating new habits? The power of small habits can help us develop healthy behaviors with long-term impact. Let's jump in. The book, The Power of Habit, takes a look at the understanding of how habits work, and more important, how they change. Each habit means relatively little on its own, yet over time they have enormous impacts on our health, productivity, financial security, and happiness. One paper published by a Duke University researcher in 2006 found that more than 40% of the actions people performed each day were not actual decisions, but habits. At one point, we all consciously decide how much to eat, what to focus on when we get to the office, how often to have a drink, or when to go for a run. Then we stopped making a choice, and the behavior became automatic. It's a natural consequence of our neurology. By understanding how it happens, you can rebuild those patterns in whichever way you choose. Our brain converts a sequence of actions into automatic routines, known as chunking. This is at the root of how habits form. We have dozens of behavioral sequences we rely on every day, like automatically putting toothpaste on your toothbrush before sticking it into your mouth. Others include getting dressed or making the kids' lunch. These are a little more complex. But once habits start unfolding, our gray matter is free to quiet itself or chase other thoughts. Habits emerge because the brain is constantly looking for ways to save effort. When a habit emerges, the brain stops fully participating in decision making. It stops working so hard or diverts focus to other tasks. So unless you deliberately fight a habit, or unless you find new routines, the pattern will unfold automatically. The problem is that your brain can't tell the difference between bad and good habits. Performing a new behavior for the first time is the hardest part of creating a new habit. Your new behavior needs to be repeated consistently for it to become a habit. For a habit to really stick, you need to repeat the behavior so often that it becomes second nature. At first, your new habit will require a lot of planning, and eventually it should be a natural part of your day, just like showering or brushing your teeth. The goal is to perform the behavior with efficiency and without awareness, intention, or control. You can repeat a behavior a million times and it won't stick if there is no reward. When it comes to health behavior change, these rewards have to be intrinsic. The reward has to be the way you feel about your new behavior. Does working out make you feel proud? Does eating better give you more energy? Does being more active mean you get more time with your friends? Before you start your new behavior, take a minute to write down the rewards you expect to get. This slide is simply a roadmap on how to build healthy habits. The first start is to commit to 30 days. 3 to 4 weeks is all the time you need to make a habit automatic. And if you can make it through the initial conditioning phase, it becomes much easier to sustain. Make it daily. Consistency is critical if you want to make a habit stick. So, if you want to start exercising, go to the gym every day for your first 30 days. Start simple. Don't try to completely change your life in one day. It's easy to get overmotivated and take on too much. Remind yourself. Around 2 weeks into your commitment, it can be easy to forget. So place reminders to execute your habit each day, or you might miss a few days. Stay consistent. The more consistent your habit, the easier it will be to stick. So if you want to start exercising, try going at the same time to the same place for your 30 days. Get a buddy. Find someone who will go along with you and keep you motivated if you feel like quitting. Form a trigger. A trigger is a ritual you will use right before executing your habit. So let's say you want to wake up earlier. This could mean waking up in exactly the same way each morning. If you want to quit smoking, you could practice snapping your fingers each time you felt the urge to pick up a cigarette. Replace lost needs. If you're giving something in your habit, if you're giving up something, make sure you're adequately replacing any needs you've lost. For example, if watching television gave you a way to relax, you could take up meditation or reading as a way to replace the same need. Be imperfect. Don't expect all your attempts to change habits to be successful immediately. Remove temptation. Restructure your environment so it won't tempt you in the first 30 days. Remove junk food from your house, cancel your cable subscription, throw out the cigarettes, delete your apps on your phone so you won't need to struggle with willpower later. Associate with role models. Spend more time with people who model the habits and behaviors you want to mirror. A recent study found that having an obese friend indicated you are more likely to become fat. So you become what you spend time around. Run it as an experiment. Experiments can't fail. They just have different results. So it will give you a different perspective on changing your habits. Visualize it. Visualize yourself performing the bad habit. Next, visualize yourself pushing aside the bad habit and performing an alternative. Finally, end that sequence with an image of yourself in a highly positive state. You can see yourself picking up the cigarette, see yourself putting it down, and snapping your fingers, finally visualizing yourself running and breathing free. Write it down. A piece of paper with a resolution on it is that important. Writing that resolution is important. Writing makes your ideas clearer and it focuses you on the end result. Know the benefits and the pain. Familiarize yourself with the benefits of making a change. Get books that show the benefits of regular exercise. Notice any changes in energy levels after you take on a new diet. Or imagine getting better grades after you improve your study habits. You should also be aware of the consequences. Exposing yourself to realistic information about the downsides of not making a change will give you added motivation. Do it for yourself. Don't worry about all the things you should have as habits. Instead, focus your habits towards your goals and the things that motivate you. Your why. Remember why it's important to you and write it down. Commit to making new habits. Research shows that this brain development can continue throughout our lives as we acquire new skills and experiences. Even as we mature into midlife and elderhood, when we develop and expand our habits, our brains can grow new neural connections. In addition to building new pathways in the brain, greater awareness of our habits, both the good and the bad, informs how we show up in our lives. With this awareness and a few strategic guideposts, we can make choices to maintain those habits that serve us well and change those that don't. Routine is constantly found to be important for children and adults. Family routines have been linked to the development of social skills and academic success. Adherence to family routines has been identified as important for family resilience during times of crisis. When we want to build new habits that fit into our lifestyles, we can get remarkable results by making one tiny change at a time. Accumulating habits involves deciding the kind of person you want to be, and then empowering your vision with a process of small wins emerging from habits. One step at a time, we can create a personal system as these habits inform our way of learning, doing, and being in the world. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found this information helpful and resourceful as you commit to making new changes in your daily habits.